How's it going, everyone? My name is Chris with Aquatic Ascent, here with David from DASMTOSAKIN. He's an amazing goldfish keeper here in New Jersey. He's in the process of moving to Colombia, so unfortunately we don't have the whole setup in its prime, but he's got some insane stuff to show you today, and I'm really excited. Thanks for having us, David.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate that.
So let's get started. Let's get in, check out some of these tanks.
There's a lot of things to talk. Unfortunately, there's not much time, but I'm going to try to explain a little bit what is this about. I mainly work with Tosakins. I've been doing it for the last almost 30 years. It's a very weird, it's not a very common type of Tosakin in the US. There's very few of us who breed them. And it's mainly because they're hard to get, they're very delicate, they're not an study fish. For people that are planning to start with goldfish, keeping goldfish, because you need to have a little bit of knowledge in order for you to be successful. Even people that bought fish from me, it's not that I have a business or anything like that. It's just a hobby. I try to explain, and some of them tell me one time, "Oh, you're trying to discourage me, like for me to get into the fish?" Say it's not that. They're kind of difficult, and I try to explain the pros and the cons about the fish and why it's so hard to keep them. Like that, you have the knowledge and be prepared, because unfortunately, Tosakins are heartbreakers.
Yeah.
I tell you that for sure.
It's nice to have that too, because it sucks coming in and having a fish die. So getting that disclaimer up front is nice. Like, yeah, imagine having a discus and someone's like, "Yeah, throw this in your 20-gallon tank. It'll be great." And now you're down a $200 fish, and you're like, "I don't want to keep fish anymore."
Yeah, the thing with that is, like, unfortunately, a lot of the people that breed fish, they kind of like centers more into an economic part of the hobby. Mm-hmm. And for me, keeping my fish doesn't spend. Always I have to spend money. I sell fish very randomly because, like I said, it's not a very common type of fish. And not many people they know about it. And the ones they see on the internet, mainly, all those fishes are champions in Japan that it might cost thousands of dollars. So I don't have $1,000 fish here, but I have Tosakins, and if you work your way through the hobby, you might get one of those, because you get so many, and if you dedicate your time to work on the breed, most likely you will end up having something that is worth spawning, keep a line blood, and work with them, and it's going to be something that is, in my case, has been for, 30 years almost.
Yeah, so I mean, that 30-year history, you've got a lot of stuff going on out here. How'd you get started in it? What brought you into fish keeping in general?
It's quick. I'm from Colombia originally, and in my country, there's a lot of places where you can get wild guppies. And when I was, like 7 years old, with my group of friends, we used to go to little creeks nearby, and with jars. I remember those mayo jars. They used to sell in glass big. So we used to keep them in there. Some of them even got to breed the guppies in there. And I did it, but it was nothing more like kids thing, Having a fish tank or any knowledge whatsoever, it was out of the question, It was very hard. It was like a kid's thing. Mm-hmm. But I got there. I remember when I was real little, probably like 3 or 4 years old, my mom took me to a friend of hers, and she had her son had a 10-gallon tank. The water was so green, and I see this flash of orange. I'm assuming it was a goldfish, a comet. And that now that I'm into all these, probably that got to do a little bit with whatever is going on with me right now. So how we started? Back in 91, I was with a friend of mine. We went to a pet shop. I saw this little bag, probably I will show it to you in a minute. I saw the picture of something. I thought it was a flower. Through the window of that little bag, which is pellets, I thought it was seeds for that little plant. But when I went through the picture and I started seeing what it was in there, I noticed that it has eyes. I saw the dorsal fin. And when I saw that tail, I said, oh my God, I have to have that. And that little bag changed my life, literally, because everything after that, my life is being around keeping fish, mainly Tosakins, when I got the hands to have it like 7 years later.
Wow. And I see these tubs are just filled with some beautiful fish, and even some that might not be looking so great. Tell us a little bit about these.
Okay, what's a Tosakin? This is a Tosakin.
Right
there.
down
You
here?
see that guy right there? That's a Tosakin. This is another Tosakin. And most of the fish here are Tosakin, baby Tosakins, but there's a few different fish, like this guy here, which is a jikin. This one too. You know? So these fish are the children, I don't know, probably like 12 generations, God only knows, from the ones that they originally have from Japan. But in this case in particular, there's a friend of mine named H. Harman who lives in Arizona. He gave me, somehow he got something that, someone that brought fish, and he got me some Tosakins. These Tosakins, they're probably like at least 4 years old.
Wow.
Around there, that guy right there. So
Do they live as long as regular goldfish? Like how they can get to 30
fancy
years?
goldfish, you know, a regular comet, the one that you get in a fair, whatever, they might last a long time. They might, if you got the space and you take care of them, might last for 20, 30 years. You know, they're real long lasting. But these fancy goldfish like Tosakin, like Ranchos, Orandas, I will say a normal span will be between 5 and 7 years, more or less.
Oh, wow. So almost like a little bit longer than a beta.
Exactly. So if they might they might go longer, but everything depends on how much, what's the care. But usually, in my experience, will be probably like, I don't know, like between 5 and 7 years, more or less.
So if you get one of these beautiful fish, I mean, these tubs are huge. How many gallons is one of these about?
Well, there's two sizes. I got this one, which is the biggest one, and this one here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a little small. This one is 5 by 6, and this one is 4 by 5. I was making the numbers the other day. Probably the small one might hold 400 gallons of water. This big one might be in around 600, 700 gallons of water. If you see, I keep them low right now because we're in summertime. But in winter time, because I keep most of my fish outside in winter. I only bring inside the ones that I'm planning to breed. I raise the water level to almost the top of the tank. Like that, I keep the water from freezing all the way and having all the fish dying.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So you were telling me a little bit earlier about goldfish being similar to dogs. I'd like the viewers to kind of get that explanation.
Okay, I don't know if you noticed that when you talk about dogs, you can see the smallest one is Chihuahua, and you can get a big dog like a Great Dane. You know, like all of them are dogs. The Bulldog, the Frenchie, the Boxer, the Pit Bull, all of them are dogs. Same with goldfish in general. You got goldfish, you got the normal one, which is the comet, the most common one. But all the fish that you see called goldfish, all of them belongs to the same branch of the, how you call that, genetics, whatever.
Species, the same species.
So, and you can breed any fish, even though they look totally different. You might combine them. That's why there's so many different type of fish, because first of all, goldfish are very generically, they change a lot. And second of all, they can breed among any type of fish. You might end up getting something weird because it's not gonna look to neither of the parents. You might get something cool that you might wanna work on, like I'm doing it right now. Or, you know, ending up like people call them garbage because they don't look like any of the parents. They look something totally different and might not look that great.
And is that where you're starting to get like swim bladder issues, like that little guy right there?
Mainly is because Tosakins originally, they were from Japan. Now you can get from different countries. I see them Tosakin from China, Tosakin from Thailand, and America. if you want to put it that way. But originally they came from Tosa, it's a place in Japan. And actually this fish is like the emblem of the town. They have a pedestal with a big Tosakin is because originally they came from over there. Why they're so delicate? When they have the Second World War, why?
Yeah, the Second World War.
Yeah, so they thought the fish were extinct. A doctor, unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the doctor, this is a biologist in Japan. He walks into this bar. He noticed that the owner of the bar had a tank with like between 5 and 7 Tosakins in there. So him thinking that they were extinct, he told the owner, remember, they were in the middle of the war. So they say, listen, I got a box of sake, which is a traditional drink in Japan. I trade my backup sake, which is very weird because there were none due to the war, and you gave me the fish. And they make the deal. So people say that all the modern Tosakin came out of those 7 fish. So as you can see, the gene pool is very narrow, so they're very prompt to develop different problems. I don't know if I saw a guy here doing a weird thing, but sometimes they suffer from a lot of sudden die. Out of the blue, they die, or they might develop bladder swimming problem.
This guy right here.
Yeah, so like that guy right there, could live there for years. He might get back to normal in a month from now or so, but the thing is, you don't know.
Do the peas ever help or anything like that? I know some people try to deal with that with like shelled peas, or
I
never
tried
really experimented.
everything. I even tried a surgery one time.
Oh, wow.
Going with a needle and remove the water from the bladder, because what happened, the bladder fills with water, so that's why they can balance in the water. And there's a procedure, you can watch it online, probably on YouTube, you'll be able to see that. Or the other way around, if they're floating in the surface like this guy here, it's because it has too much air inside the bladder, so it can handle that. When you see them on the bottom, like they're always in the bottom, they might swim on the bottom, it's because the bladder is full of water. So they can go up and down. And this guy, since the problem is that it has a lot of air inside the bladder, too much air, so they can really handle swimming going up and down, because the floating on the surface wins the effort of him trying to swim normally, like the regular fish does.
And then what do you got over here? I see some ranchus.
Yeah,
there's some big boys.
I work with 2 types of ranchus. This one is kind of like the Japanese version. They're not great fish. They're decent, but this is like a Japanese type of ranchu. They're different. I also work with another type called Yambao ranchu, which is originally from China, but this is like the Japanese type.
These guys are beautiful. I mean, I just look at this guy with all the patterns and the fun-looking tail. I am a complete novice when it comes to fancy goldfish.
Let me tell you something. What makes ranchu mainly is the head growth. I can't remember how they call it, but there's so many points that you have to look in order to have a quality fish, show fish like they do in Japan. That all these fish has many flaws. Even though they look nice and everything, but they have many flaws. That's why I kind of like don't breed them. But they're decent. They're decent to look at them, and I really like them. But they got a lot of things. For example, the tail has to be something like that, not like this. Has to be split. The head growth has to be in a certain way. The body shape, the scales, the coloring, the eyes, the cheeks. There's so many points. So it's kind of like.
That's intense.
Exactly. when they in Japan, goldfish is a big thing. It's like dogs in here, like people.
Yeah.
And when they have these shows, kennel shows, and all that, they have the best dogs. They look into everything. How's the tail, the behavior, the way they walk, the way
the teeth.
Exactly, everything. Same with goldfish.
Wow.
So you might have a perfect fish. You might be a champion that costs a lot of, thousands of dollars, believe it or not. You might get something like this, might cost $100. And you might get something like that, that is the champion, might cost you thousands of dollars if they sell it, which is hard because once you have a fish that is the champion in a tournament, they usually keep that because there's going to be a breeder.
It's almost like a racehorse, where
Exactly.
where it's millions of dollars to get that racehorse's even sperm.
Let me tell you something. Koi. I heard koi costing millions of dollars.
That makes me want to cry. Like, I can't even imagine that.
Millions. I think the record is like $2 million.
US dollars.
US
Not
dollars.
like yen. Just
No,
2 million US
dollars.
That is more than most houses here. That's crazy.
That's how big is the fish in Japan. Like I was saying to you earlier, I think I was a Japanese guy in my previous life. Because I really like the culture. Everything is so meticulous. They're so dedicated to do working things, work to the detail. That's why everything made in Japan is kind of expensive because they really take the time to make the things quality. Not like the Chinese, they do great things too, but they, like they kind of more of production.
Yeah.
Japanese are more about very few but quality.
Gotcha.
But they're catching up. But that's that. What we have here, a long time ago, I have a crossbreeding between a Ranchu and a Tosakin.
And we'll get to those parents in a little bit, just down the way.
So it was like 5-6 years ago, and it was not intended. I just put him in one tank down the lane right there. I never knew there was a male and female. I just let them there for like a couple of weeks. The water start turning a little green. So I usually, when I'm in a regular stage keeping fish, I keep one species in each tank. And same species in different tanks because I keep different bloodlines to prevent inbreeding. Guys, one thing that I'm going to encourage you to do if you ever plan breeding any type of fish, and mainly goldfish, do not inbreed.
Hey guys, we're back. We got cut off. My phone overheated because of the sun. It's a nice hot day here, but we're getting back just talking about inbreeding. So sorry for the harsh cut.
No problem. What I was trying to explain to everybody, anyone that wants to start breeding any type of fish, could be goldfish, could be bettas, could be whatever, don't inbreed your fish. Reason being is you might get beautiful fish, but that fish is going to be weak, and there's a good chance the offspring of that fish, I'm sorry, please, excuse my thick accent. After that, the fish that you get after that is going to be weak, with a lot of problems, deformities, a lot of things that you don't want. So if you're planning to breed any type of fish, try to get them from 2 different sources, 2 different places, like that you got different genes, and you will save yourself of a lot of headaches down the line.
Yeah, genetics are tough. Make sure you're adding in new blood, especially after a generation or two. Even guppies, I think, are the best example. I think you're able to go 1 or 2 generations is kind of a stretch, and then you start getting S-shaped guppies that are like, help me.
Yeah, kind of.
So before we get on to the other side, can you explain what you do with these automatic feeders I see here?
Yeah. You see them. You can get them in any place. What happened is I work nights, so the only time that I have to feed them is around noon. And being these babies, they probably like 3 months old already. You have to feed them at least 3 times a day. So I feed them around noon, but I have a little feeding in the morning and another one late in the afternoon. That's why I keep those feeders. And you can use those for the adult fish. But the problem with that is that when you feed them too much, the water tends to get green sooner. And the parameters, I don't look into hardness like I was telling you before. I know my water and I know what is good for the fish. Just looking at the way they swim and the way they behave. But when you overfeed, I remember one time in a video of a Japanese known breeder said, people feed the fish too much. And when it's real hot, I go weeks just once every other day, because it's better than going a little hungry than giving them way too much food, getting the water spoiled, and you having fish dying left and right. Actually, we had a warm wave, like
Oh yeah, we had that heat wave.
like yeah, like
It was
10
like
days ago.
115 degrees for like 3 days in a row. It was stupidly hot.
I lost like 3 or 4 fish because of that, and the water turns green, very green, which is not good. People say green water is good for goldfish, but not all the green waters.
Yeah.
Has to be some type of green.
I see this algae right here. It's beautiful. It looks almost like a shrimp tank for Caridina breeders over in Asia, how they let the whole tank get green. And it's really pretty. And this is what's filtering the water too, right?
Yeah, I noticed that when I first started with this tank like 5 years ago, I used to clean them all the way until they were like this. You know, like it is
Yeah.
in here, which is not good, because every time that you clean all the algae that is growing on the walls, you're taking away something that will gonna keep your water healthy. And that's the same thing that I do when I have a fish tank. People when starting with the hobby, they usually clean the whole thing every week, which is the worst thing that you can do.
Oh, the dump out into the sink.
Exactly. They dump up all the water, and every time that you do that, you're starting all over again.
We got to make like a top 10 video, top 10 mistakes. That
Exactly.
When you're fish, we were talking about them being like dogs earlier, not just from a breeding standpoint, but they beg. They beg for food, and
Yes.
we're weak, and we cave in, and we give them
Exactly.
too much food.
If we get close to all these tanks, you will see that they come close to us thinking that we're going to feed them,
Yeah.
which is not the case, because I feed them yesterday. We might feed them later on, but you see they start coming over, like this guy, and they feel that I'm going to feed them, but I'm not going to do it today, because today is a little warm. Like I said, if you overfeed the fish, it's not good, because the water will turn green faster, and because the amount of ammonia and all these crazy things that might kill your fish will rise due to the hot temperature. So you don't want that. So try to hold yourself from overfeeding. When it's real warm, like maybe once every other day, a heavy feeding once every other day. And when you have temperatures in the 70s, 80s, middle of spring or early spring or early fall, things like that, you might be able to feed them on a daily basis. Not too much. Remember, the key is not too much, because you may end up having more problems than benefits.
Yeah, more little feedings rather than one big
Exactly.
one is usually a lot better for
It's
your
much
fish.
better. I'll do it a big one is because I do that every other day. But in my case, when I feed them on a daily basis, I only do it once. And when it's early spring or late fall, I might feed them twice.
Kind of sticking to that beginner line, we were talking more of it being outside with outside temperatures. What if someone gets one inside in a tank? What is like,
All right.
what would you say about that?
When you keep fish inside, you're never gonna get, with time, if the fish that you have was outside and you bring it in, you're gonna have beautiful colors. But the best thing to have like a bright whites, bright reds, bright orange is sunlight. That's the best thing that you can do. I'm talking about goldfish, and I'm
Yeah.
assuming with other type of color fish, like I don't know, like guppies, bettas, and all that. I've seen a lot of videos on the internet, and I see they keep them like in outside, like in greenhouses and things like that.
Bringing fish in after pond
Exactly.
season.
It's because the sun helps for many reasons. It's very when you have sun, and if you can put your fish tank close to a window where you get a little bit of sunlight in the morning or late afternoon, that will help. But if you keep a tank in a corner, just with the fluorescent light on top of the tank, the color might go down a little bit. It's not going to be
Yeah.
as bright. It might change color. That could be too. And but it's not a big deal. As long as the fish is healthy, that is not going to affect it's not going to affect the fish health at all. The only thing is not going to look as beautiful, but it's not going to be a health issue or anything like that.
And they're also getting all the live food too.
Exactly.
I saw-
Live food it helps. But you know something? Even though I use foods when I used to keep fish inside, They said that it will help with the coloring and all that. There's nothing like sunlight. That's my bottom. You don't need to put anything fancy, nothing. Sunlight will do the trick for you.
I see some absolute beauties in here. Do you have a... No,
Well,
I don't want to say favorites, but do you have any like standouts that you're really proud of?
This is a nice fish. This is how Wambao Ranchu.
Oh wow, he is stunning.
I'm looking head grow. I'm looking to have the two anal fins. That's what I look all the time. The coloring is real nice. You see how bright that orange is?
It's insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's a nice fish. It's a breeding fish. You know, if I want to breed something out of here, that will be one of my choices right there.
Yeah, I saw there was like a little black and gold guy swimming around somewhere.
What I was talking about goldfish being very weird generically is because when you have goldfish that are true type fish, what that means that even though you have two fish the same type, same everything, if you get a 60-70% true type, like the offspring looking like the parents, it's a very good rate. But if you get something like, you see that fish right there?
Yeah, that's who we've been following.
Exactly. That fish is a Tosakin, but look how weird the tail is.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. They're not true type. You might have fish, and out of that spawn that doesn't look even closer to the parents. So that's why it's very important that you have different bloodlines, that you have quality bloodlines, like that your offspring will be healthy and you're gonna be able to work down the lane with them. Talking about that, if Ranchu usually have the tail like that, let me show you something real quick.
Oh, the straight line ranches
let
on
me
the
show
other
you.
side?
I don't know if you'll be able to see that skinny fish right over there with the red head.
Yep.
That fish right there is
Hey, Megan, can you get close to that guy?
Juambao Ranchu, which
See
is
the one with the
supposed
bright
to,
red head?
it was supposed to look like this with the red head. But for some reason, the scales are different. The size and the body is way different than the regular Juambao Ranchu. So that's why I'm saying goldfish, they're very weird. That's why there's so many people of different goldfishes, because generically, they change so much.
That's cool.
When they first started thousands of years ago in China, the goldfish in general, like the dogs came out of the wolf. The goldfish came out of a fish named Crucian carp, which is a green fish. And probably back then they noticed that some of them came with a couple of red scales. So back in the day, they probably took those fish apart and they started like spawning them, and they got them all after many generations red. And they noted that they can keep them in ponds and they grow and they were like a little pet, and then they start relating the koi and the goldfish in general to good luck and prosperity and all that. Mm-hmm. So working all those aspects, many people involved, they start seeing all these different types of fish that you get out of the same type. And they start working with different, like the coloration, the head, the tail, the body. And at the end, we got many different, I would say more than 30 or 40 different type of fish.
Yeah.
Easily.
And all from that one common ancestor.
Exactly. One common, like the dogs.
So we've got another tub of babies down here.
I call this baby Tosachu. I don't know if any one of you guys follow me on Instagram. I probably talked about, I make a little comment about it. I don't remember if it was in this tank or that one like 5 years ago. I put a couple of fish because I was cleaning and I put them in there. And it was a Tosakin and a Ranchu. Not knowing they were a male and female. It was like early spring. So I was looking around cleaning and I forgot about them. I left them in the tank. Mm-hmm. Few weeks went, and when I went to clean up the tank because the water was getting green already, I put them on where they belong. I noticed there was a whole bunch of little babies. So I said, what? So, and some of them were kind of quite big. So I said, you know something, let's see what comes out of that mix.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting something that I call Tosashu, which is a combination between Tosakin and Ranchu. So I said, I'm gonna work with this to see how where I ended up ending. The only thing about that, it will take many years. I've been working on this for the last 5 years, and I got a few adults, and this year I have three different spawning from three different fish, because like I said at the beginning, you try to have you need different bloodlines.
Yeah.
So like that, probably in a year or two from now, those babies that you see here, I'm gonna cross them with the ones that are in the other tank, and let's see what happens. But what I'm so far right now, I'm gonna show you guys. This is what I call a Tosakin, which is a fish that doesn't look like anything. This guy here, there. This guy here.
Right here.
This guy here with the red dot.
This guy
that
is beautiful.
It's not a ranchu. It's not a Tosakin, but it's a combination. So that's what I'm working on. People that mentioned to me that they look like the Osaka Rancho, which is extinct right now. I'm not looking, and I'm saying that it's a Tosaka, and not what I'm trying to work. But if I get something that is like that or better, I'm gonna keep working on it, because I'm hoping that the fish that I have right now, when they get a year, 2 years old, they pretty much gonna look, if not like that, better than that. That's what I'm working on right now.
That guy's stunning, and that's your like pet project. That's
Like I said at the beginning, I'm probably in the process of moving. Unfortunately, with all the situations that we have right now, it's gonna be like in standby for now. But at the end, I probably will end up moving. So that's why I don't have everything, all the tanks going. I have
you can see some empties over there.
fish. Exactly. I got all the fish mixed, which I don't try not to do, but so far they're doing fine. So right here we got again a couple of Tosakins. I got a Juanbao Ranchu. That one is a Juanbao Ranchu. A couple of Jikins like this guy here.
Pure white.
Yes.
That's cool.
But you know the tail is not that good. That's a pet quality fish. The tail is not that good. That's the thing with Tosakins. You might see a fish that doesn't look that good when they're little, and as they grow, they start developing real good. The same way. You see this guy here? He got a flip gill cover.
So how do you distinguish? I mean, a flipped gill cover, I'd assume, is something that you can really see. But what's really the difference between a pet quality and like a breeding quality that you would keep an eye out for?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna trip over your drainage.
The first thing that I look is that they have two anal fins.
Okay.
Then I look on for me it's basic. I never breed a fish with one anal fish, even though they can show me in shows. You can compete with a fish like that. I don't like it, because I think goldfish, they were meant to have two anal fins. So I look into that all the time. The thing with goldfish is like when they're little and start growing, you might start developing problems. Again, Tosakins, gene pool is very narrow, so you might mix a fish with just one gene that might cause something like this. Let me show you guys.
I love it. You can just like grab them.
I'm used to that. So you see the gill plate is folded like that?
Yeah.
That's not good. But like I said, I look in this guy that had double anal fin like you see it here. The tail is a decent tail, which is not the greatest, but it's decent. But as it grew older, I noticed the gill plate start turning, so it's just a pale quality right now.
And it's like, hey, it deserves a happy, healthy life,
Exactly.
but it's not one that you're like, we're going to continue.
It's like, I'm going to show you
bloodline.
this guy. This guy here is a chicken, and for some reason he developed a swimming bladder problem. It's been like that for 2 months. That even though it might go back to normal in a month from now, like I said at the beginning, but it might stay like that for a year, and they're still eating, they're still moving around, but people say, oh, it's dead. No, it's not dead. And he lives normally and according with the situation of his in right now, but they survive, they eat, they swim around. They like to be down there, I guess, because they feel protected, maybe.
Yeah, undercover.
Exactly. So when I feed him, he moves around and eats from the bottom and all that. So it's been like that for a few months already. That's what happened in wintertime. Wintertime usually causes a lot of problems, and one of them mainly is like swimming bladder. when they spend the winter outside, the whole entire winter. Because remember, there's no feeding. I feed them like once every 3 weeks, maybe if a little bit. Because remember, when it's cold, the bacteria from the filters doesn't work as well as when it's summertime.
Yeah, it's not.
So you cannot feed them that much.
So I see this little drain pipe right here. Can you walk us through your water change system real quick? Because I see a lot of the inflows and the drain.
Exactly. So I got water. This is good. I'm gonna just for a little bit, like you see, it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I can fill this tank in 10 minutes with that.
Whew.
And
this is one of the like 400-gallon ones,
no,
right?
no, this is the small size. I usually keep the big ones on the corners.
Yep.
Because I usually keep the babies on those, depending on the amount of babies. But I keep that. Each one has their own drain, which I was planning to use PVC at the beginning. But I said, you know something, I was kind of lazy, and I said, let me use this, how do you call that?
Gutters.
Gutters. And it worked just fine, you know.
We were just talking about how he used gutters instead of PVC.
Yeah, because for me to do PVC, I was kind of lazy. I got so much on my hands at that moment because I was putting it all together. I gotta build all these covers because raccoons are crazy around here.
Yeah, you were telling us about the evil gang.
I lost a lot of fish due to raccoons, so I try to cover them for heavy rain on cold months, snow in winter. So that's why I built up these covers. So it was a lot back then, so I used the gutter, which is working pretty fine. You know, like I got no problem.
Yeah, and they all look like this when closed.
Exactly, they look like that. It used to look better, but the sun, you know, is...
Time wears down things.
Yes, and I had these same coverings back in the days. They last me like 10 years. These are like 7 years, 5 years more or less, and they don't looking that good right now. So I don't want to change them because, like I said, probably I'm in the process of moving to another place. So I don't, unless I really need to replace one of them, I will do it. But other than that, I just keep it like that until I see something that it needs to be replaced, and I will do it. But not doing the whole thing for now. So going back to the Tosakins, we start like I was saying. We got these guys here. Let me show you this tank here real quick. Different blood lanes. On this type, it was a crossing between a male Tosakin, that I had, the one that I showed you with the red dot, and a female Tosakin. They came out, all of them had double lane of fin. I went through took my time to make sure that they would look like that, but I noticed that most of them, I would say 99% of them, came with the dorsal fin, which is something that I don't really wanted it.
Okay.
But at the same time, they came out with nice tails, and they look like little Tosakins. So I'm gonna work with them how they look later on. I might get something like a Tosakin, not me knowing that it's not a real Tosakin.
Do you try to focus on one thing at a time? I know some breeders go, I'm going for color right now, I'm going for size right now, I'm going for tail shape right now.
The thing with goldfish is that you can't tell about the coloring until some of them are changing already, but you'll see the final coloring probably when they're 1 year old.
That's a long time.
Tosakins are even weirder because let me show you something here. I'll get this guy, for example. This guy. This is the same coloring that I had when they were babies, and it might take a couple of years to change color. They eventually change color, but right now they have this baby color that eventually will change. But in Tosakin, everything takes longer. They're more delicate. There's a lot of things that it has to do with keeping them in a good shape. You know, like working with them the right way. But there's a lot of things. For example, that color, it might stay for a couple of more years. It might stay like that. It's hard to tell. But with goldfish, usually takes a long time for us to know what's going to be the final color.
You actually just answered something that I'd always wondered about. So back a couple of years ago, I had a turtle, and we got some goldfish to go in our turtle tank. And all of them were orange except for this one black one. And I was like, all right, you know, we've got the black one. And all of a sudden, it starts changing color, and I had no idea why. It went from black to almost entirely white. So we changed his name to Michael after Michael Jackson because I thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
So that actually, like, it kind of blows my mind because he didn't start changing color till, you know, we got him. He was already pretty big, but he didn't change color till way later. And now we know why Michael became Michael.
Yeah, exactly. So one thing is, that's a good point. So that's one thing about goldfish. It will take probably a year. Most of them, I'm not going to say any, all of them will take a year. Might take less than that. It might take longer than that. But a year, more or less, is going to be the time that you will be able to see what's the final coloring on them. So this guy here, for example, this is a Jikin. Mm-hmm. Is red and white.
And what's the difference between a Jikin and like a Tosachu?
The tail, because Jikin tail.
Sorry.
Jikin tail is like this. You know, like if you check the, probably will be able. It's like this, and when they start, they open it like that.
Okay.
Tosakin, the tail, I don't know if people are familiar with I don't know, Orandas, Ryukins, Moors. They have two tails, but they're both like this. When you have Tosakin, there's only one tail, and it is like this, which is very weird. You know, as you can see in some of them, it have flaps around, which is real cool. Mm-hmm. And when you have a real good fish, they might go around the body, and so that's why it's so important that you keep that fish with no power filters, nothing that produce a lot of current, because what happens is like they're gonna get weak and they're gonna get sick and they might die. So that's why.
That's where the sensitivity comes in that you were warning us about earlier.
Exactly.
And you can really see it with this guy.
Yeah,
from above.
no ornaments. I don't keep any gravel, just water. Where you keep it could be a fish tank, it could be a bowl, it could be whatever, and the filter. And I recommend just sponge filters because you'll be able to clean it up easier. And usually since they have a little bit of current or a lot of the debris is going to go underneath that filter, which is going to be easier for you to clean. And it won't cause any current, which in goldfish, mainly on fancy goldfish, you don't want that. Mm-hmm. You don't want current. Because I see people putting power filters, power heads. Goldfish in general is not good.
I see you've got a beautiful lotus here. You want to tell us the story behind this one real quick? This actually is why we got connected.
Exactly. I got a good friend of mine in Arizona, Gage Harford. We got together. He was looking for Tosakin. Like I said, there's not many of us breeding Tosakin in the U.S. Mm-hmm. People said, but that could be a good business opportunity. No, it's not. I'm going to explain that a little bit. Tosakin is, you have to put a lot of time and effort for you to grow them. And if you got good quality fish, it takes a lot of effort and time, you know? So when you sell your fish, you're not gonna sell it for $5 because it's not, I'd rather keep it until they get older and die than selling it.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of effort. And I've seen a lot of people, they think, but you got that and you get everything going. Another thing about Tosakin, not many people knows about them. The few people that know, they know they're very delicate and they don't want to get involved. So it's not I thought it would be, people said it's a good business opportunity. It never turned out that way. I don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
It's many things. I just wanted to enjoy the hobby as it is. Like I said at the beginning, it's an expense because I have to pay the water, I have to buy the food. I might sell a fish here and there. And like I said, I try to explain people, I remember Gage Harford, the one who gave me the lottery, said, when I first talked with you, the first time that I talked with you, I felt that you were trying to pull me down. And I said, no, it's not about that. It's about, I wanted to tell you up front that it's not an easy fish. They might die on you out of the blue. They might develop a swimming bladder problem. You're not going to be able to have beautiful plants, beautiful ornaments, gravel. That doesn't combine with Tosakins. Like I said, right now they're kind of mixed with all the fish, but all the fish, they're kind of like the same type of behavior. But if you have fish like comets mixed with Tosakins, they might get sick. They might get picked from all the fish.
Yeah, picked on.
Exactly. They might not eat enough because they're not as fast swimmers. So if you have a fast swimmer fish, they will eat everything before a Tosakin might have the opportunity. Exactly, competing for food. So it's not a good idea combining them. So people think about, oh, I'm going to have a rancher, and I'm going to have a Rwanda, and I'm going to have a comet in the same tank. Some of them you might be able to combine them, but with Tosakin, there's a good chance that your fish is going to end up getting sick, seeking all the rest of the fish in your tank. It might die. Another thing, you have to keep them in shallow water, 8 inches of water, the most, 9 inches.
So that kind of beats the 30-gallon like general.
You can put them in
keep
a
a
30,
goldfish in a 30-gallon because that's way taller than 8 inches.
You can keep there maybe ranchos. You can keep there maybe orandas, ryukins, but Tosakins has to be to look good in a shallow breeding tank.
Yeah.
I will probably show you in a minute
And it is,
the ways that I usually keep.
It is so cool seeing these. So actually, that's a great transition into that.
Yeah.
And while we walk over there, so that lotus was sent.
Oh, so I was saying
that
about
lotus
the lotus
was sent to Dave.
So he said, so I got like a month, 5 weeks ago. My wife told me, oh, there's a guy there asking for you, and I was working with my fish here. So he said to me, oh, you David? Yeah. Oh, my name is David. Hey, what's up? You remember Gage Harford give you a plant? He said, and I said to him, yeah, he mentioned it to me like 5 weeks ago, longer than that, but I thought he probably forgot or whatever. So he said, no, I got your plant here. He brought me that. And he said, listen, dude, let me help you out. Where you want to put it? When he came down here and he saw everything that I have going on, he said to me, I'm going to have to, and I said, you work with somebody? No, I work by myself. I don't know anyone around that is into golfing like I am. I don't know many people. The people that I know that I might have the same, I'm not going to say passion, but dedication, like me, they're in the other side of the United States. So like in the West Coast, like Gage Harford, other guys, but no one nearby. So he's, oh, dude, I live in Rutherford. It's the next town over. So we'd have to talk, and I got this guy, a few guys that are into goldfish and ponds and all that. I want to get you connected, and then I met you, Dave.
Yeah, then you just introduced me, crazy fish dude.
So I said, well, if you want to come by, I'll show you what I have. It's not what I used to have because I'm in the process of moving. But it's going to be, you'll be able to see a little bit of what I usually have.
And it's funny, it's a total 180 from what you guys know this channel for. A lot of nano fish and different breeding projects that I work on, like rainbows especially, I'm in love with. Goldfish are totally out of my element, so I'm just here like, almost like a kid on a school trip. Like I do not have that much to add besides basic fish care. Dave right here is just blowing my mind. And teaching me things like even about little Michael changing colors.
Yeah,
just another beautiful. Every tank we look at, every fish is so cool and so unique, and I'm sure each one has their own little personalities too.
Yeah, they're kind of like, when I have to go like this and start looking to see the different things. You see the tail of this one's real nice. This guy, for example, you see that? The tail.
Wow.
But I have the 2 anals. So if I ever want to breed a fish, that might be a candidate. A guy like this. Has nice pointy head. Looks healthy, nice, swim nice and everything. So I'm saying is that Sorry, dude.
Every time.
I'm gonna have to
put.
I'm gonna have to put a big sign. Watch your head. I don't have insurance. So what I was saying is, when you have many things gathered in the same place, it's hard for you to tell and see the detail. But once in a while, I sit down like this and start looking around and say, "Oh, that's a good fish. I like that one. I like that one. If I ever gonna breed, probably I want to try that guy." Things like that. But when you see when you see all the fish like this, it's kind of like hard to pick because everybody at the same time they think that I'm going to feed them. That's why all of them are gathering around here. But it's like that. Talking about genetics. Let me show you this guy here real quick.
Oh, hello, beautiful.
This one is a Yuamba Rancho. What's the difference? Take a look at that tail. Single tail.
It's straight up.
It's straight up like that's not a Yuamba Rancho thing. But guess what? I got this pond the other day and I saw like 20 of them like that. So I was thinking about it. Should I going down with them, like feed them to a bigger fish or whatever? But I said, you know something? I want to keep it for a while to see what happened. And when I decided to do something, they were already too big. So I said, you know something? Let me keep them. So I kept them, and they turned out to be nice. Someone told me they're
beautiful.
They look like balloons, but the tail
I see another one over there.
Yeah, there's a few. Most of the Yuamba ranches in here, they got a single tail, which is not supposed to be like that. So that's what I'm saying. And so that's my point that I was trying to explain. Someone might go follow that pattern. You might be able to start working with that, just having Yuamba or Rancho with a single tail. That could be a thing to do if you want to dedicate your time to do that. So that's why there's so many type of goldfish, because you start seeing different characteristics and you start working on that. You start getting that shape that you're looking for, and then you work on that too.
So this is the last tank with water out here.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
that's one of these big ones.
This is a very nice fish.
Oh wow! Oh,
nice head. Double anal. I think it's a female. It is a male.
Speaking of that, how do you sex them?
It's very simple, but in order for you to do that, you kind of have to know a little bit. When fish
that doesn't sound very simple to me.
No, yeah, it is simple in a way. When fish go through winter and they hibernate, when they come out of hibernation, the testosterone in males start flowing like a lot. So they develop, let me see if I can see one with, here, this guy is a male.
That was just boom.
Yeah. You see here, you see those little, I don't know if you can tell.
I got your thumb.
No, this like a white little.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
Those little white, you see those little white?
Yeah, that right there in the center of the screen.
Exactly. And the front ray from that fin is real thick. So they develop that, and that's a male.
Oh, it's almost like manatees. It's like their soft spot under their fins.
Exactly. So in this, on the females, the first rate of the swimming fins is very, how do you call that? It's not thick as the male, and they don't develop those white.
Okay.
Those white, for example, let me show you, let me see this guy. This is a male, look. If I can catch it. Let me see if hold on. This side here. You see the little white, now it is late, like in the middle of summer, and they kind of start to lose those little pump, but you can see like a little tiny white. Can you see it?
I think so. I don't know on the camera. Let's see.
Right there. Let's see if I can.
A little bit. I see that dark.
Just a little bit. You can see a little dots in there.
Yeah.
It's because they already.
It's mid-season, so it's harder.
Exactly. So they were chasing this black female in here when I was cleaning up the tank this morning.
Oh,
this is a black Tosakin. You see how black that is?
Oh my gosh!
And this one is like a year and a half old or something, and it's still black.
That's cool.
So I noticed they were chasing one of them, and that's a female, and even the male Yuamba Rancho, they were chasing her around. So those, I wouldn't, whatever goes in there, they usually swim, as they produce eggs and they turn around and eat them. That's why the best way for you to breed goldfish in general is doing it by hand.
Yeah.
That you prevent that from happening. So yeah, going back to the side here, that you were asking me
this is the
around.
cool thing. I see these on the Instagram a lot, and I'm like, wow, these are beautiful.
Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, I try to follow the Japanese way.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're talking about Tosakin and they're little, with the small like babies, probably like these are like 3 months old. They put them for the first season outside in bowl like this. What's the purpose of that? So what you're looking in a Tosakin is that you have a round tail that goes around the body with flaps. You want a round body and a short peduncle. What's the peduncle? It's the piece of the fish that attached from the body to the tail. So you don't want that too long. So when you keep it in round balls like this with no covering whatsoever, they try to swim like in the same spot. They don't go far, they don't move around much.
Mm-hmm.
And they develop, the body doesn't get too long. The tail tend to spread around the body, and that's what you're looking for mainly. The only thing is, this is high maintenance. You have to change at least half of the water every week, maybe half of the water.
That's a lot. And each one of these are probably what, like
10 gallons.
10 gallons?
10 gallons. So I keep 5-gallon tanks.
And here's the like underside of them before they're plumb.
You know what? You know why I keep? Let me show you. I hope this one is clean. Yeah, it's not that bad. So originally I try to get something big like this, round like this. Let me move around here. Like,
Yeah,
so we
can get out.
Exactly. So I want something round like this, and I was shopping for a long time to get something like this. Even I look into pots, where you planting pots or whatever. Couldn't find anything big enough, easy enough to keep. So one day I went to Restaurant Supply here in Jersey. And believe it or not, this is salad bowls that you have for big parties. And they put this in a table and everybody grab your salad from there.
Did they come in this color?
No.
You
this
painted
paint
them?
outside, yes, just the outside. It comes like in a clear, how do you call that?
Plastic? Just
There's a kind of a food safe
Yeah.
plastic, which is great. It's even better for the fish. So I started with one of them back in 2000, 2001. So when I put
this bowl is older than me.
No. One of them is that old. I don't know if it's this one or something.
One
but
one's older than me.
my first one was something like this. So when I designed this place like 5 years ago or 6, I thought about having more. So I started using this, and it worked out pretty good. They're perfect. The plastic is clean. It's safe for the fish.
They look awesome.
So I developed this system here because my idea was like having a cell water changing system.
Yep.
But at the end, I said, something, it's going to be expensive on my water bill. That's one of the things. And I said, I want to try the regular way, because in Japan, they don't even have filters in there. It's just the water. They just change all the water, put new water, and they put the babies back in there.
Oh, wow.
So what I'm doing is kind of saving water in a way, because I just change half of it every week. So when you have 18 of them, that's what I have right now. It's 1 day deal, pretty much. Because you have to siphon all the debris underneath, down the bottom. I usually take the little filter, clean the sponge. Mm-hmm. But I designed this with this bulkhead here, and I just stick it in there, and they stay on place no matter what. And dude, you can't even imagine how good the little filters are. So that's the purpose of that, to help the fish to develop a round body, a round tail that goes around the body with flops in the tips. So that's why they keep it in. Like I said, I'm followed the Japanese way, and that's what they do. So I tried it, and it worked. Doesn't have to be that way, I found it, but I know this helps a little, so it's good.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
Exactly. One thing is like,
Hey, we spent thousands of years mastering this craft.
exactly, they know.
Let me try to change it.
Yeah,
I know more than you.
Well, be honest with you, that little filters in the middle is my idea, because I think the water lasts longer just in case I'm not able to do it every week and I
Yeah.
have to skip a week. So the water will keep clean because you got the algae growing in there and cleaning up the water, which is good. But you need to change the water at least once, maximum every 2 weeks. So I use that filter, like I said, look, it's stuck in the bottom, so it won't move. So I keep babies, they got 4, 3, 4, 5. You might put 5 in there for the season and see what happens at the end. Usually I try to put fish that I really like, that I think has potential. So I put them in there. Like I said, I used to have everything running, but since I'm in the brink of moving, maybe, probably not that soon now with all the situation we have right now, but I don't want to go back to the normal thing because I don't want to get caught if I have to
With
do
your
a-
pants down
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to wait and see. Everybody asks me, why you keep this covered like this? Because I don't know if you can see here.
Yeah, please tell the raccoon story.
So the raccoons around here, they're crazy, bro. Like I was saying, Dave, they're so handy, they're so intelligent. They go the extra mile to eat your fish. So I have to make sure they don't have a chance. I was telling Dave earlier, I got a tank there with my best beautiful fish from last year. I think it's that tank over there.
Yep.
So in every drain, I keep a pipe. I don't know if you can see it here. That goes down to the drain system.
Yep.
Somehow they went underneath, removed the pipe because it's not glued. I just put it right. I never thought they're gonna be able to remove.
Yeah, it's one of those rubber plugs. You had one over here, right? Just down there.
No. The pipe on inside.
Oh, yeah.
That pipe. So you have to really have to push it to stay in place. And I said, they're not going to be able to remove that. Guess what? They removed the pipe. They went through the drain. They removed the plug from the tank. On the other side with my best fish. The tank ended up getting empty. So as the water was getting, the water was draining from the tank. You got the little pool, and I found a few of them spread because there were like 15, 16 of them. Really, my best fish. I almost cried that day. So I guess
I would've.
some of them fell in here. So they start fishing literally with their hand, because I found pieces of fish outside the tank and scales all over. So I'm assuming they were able to go inside the tank with their handy hands, grab it, bring them through the hole in pieces, most likely,
Yeah.
eating part of them and
Throwing away the rest.
throwing the rest.
That's heartbreaking.
So I have to make sure they don't have any chance. But unfortunately, I feel bad. I remember from no one saying, why don't you put something, kill them or whatever. I can't do that, dude.
Yeah, there's still
It
animals.
was my mistake. It was my mistake. I learned from that experience, and I know better for next time. But don't do that. If you have something like a raccoon, don't kill them, dude.
Yeah, keep them out. They're just
Keep
trying to
them out.
survive.
Exactly. They're trying to go by like you. You gave them the chance to eat your fish. You have to do it better next time.
Yeah, and mistakes happen. You're always going to learn as fish keepers. You're always
Exactly.
going to be growing and improving.
Exactly.
And there's going to be heartbreaks.
So
like
let me
that.
tell you, when you keep fish outside, you have to go the extra mile with raccoons, with skunks, cats. There's a lot of cats around here too.
Yeah, we've got like local cats here, but just 45 minutes west in New Jersey, there are bobcats.
Yes.
Let
me tell you,
they're much bigger and angrier cats.
Exactly. They will go,
Rattlesnakes.
but I'm telling you, raccoons, they will go the extra mile to eat your fish.
Yeah.
Trust me on that.
And now you've really, really got a system in here. It's all enclosed. There's wire, insulation. You said over the winter to keep them outside,
Yeah.
you bring the water levels up to
Exactly.
here. You can see it.
You see exactly the lane right there.
And
so
you
I
throw
bring
insulation right
insulation
here.
around to keep the cold wind from hitting the walls, because if I don't do that, this might turn out to be a big block of ice with all my fish in there.
Big fishy block of ice.
Exactly. Another thing is like in wintertime, I was telling you, David, when we got these cold waves, I have to come out here like almost every day to make sure that the surface doesn't chat. Because if the surface chats all the way and I don't notice it for a few days, they might suffocate. So I have to come here every day, try to break the ice, make the opening, and do it every time, because if I wait few days, that I might get up to 5 inches of ice in here in the surface. So I need to work on that, like in a regular basis, in order to keep my fish from suffocating.
Yeah, but it really is a job. This hobby can turn into a second job very fast, especially with way more water out here. I see you installed a nice sink and you've got all your tools organized in your shed.
I hoard a lot of stuff, but everything that I might need is in here. Got buckets, bowls,
Sponge filters all over.
An extra air pump just in case the one that I have goes.
What are all those baskets? Are those just?
This is when you're breeding fish by hand. You don't want to be, you come, give you an example. I come here and I notice that I put the fish that I want to breed separate. So you have to check them every morning because they started calling the chasing is because the male chase the female like normal, like all the males chase the female. So they start chasing the male all over the place. So when you have a big area of big surface like this, sometimes it's hard for you to catch them, and you don't want to waste too much time. And so what I do is I use those baskets, put them in there, they float. So I put the males in one basket, I put the females in another basket, and I take a little bowl with water. I don't do big sponge because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A female like this, a size like this, a little bigger, you can get in one day 1,000 eggs. And out of those 1,000, if you have enough male, like 2-3 males, and you do your thing, probably 80% of them they will get fertilized. So there's a lot of fish, and there's a lot of, I don't know if you can get the chance to see how they spawn and they cool in all the fish in Japan. This guy where they have spawning season in a tank like this, that will take him 3 days. 3 days working 8 hours a day, cooling fish.
Just culling. That's just culling to make sure they're high enough quality.
Exactly, because what you're looking for, you have to start the culling very early. Like that you don't raise fish that you don't want, you don't need. Because every fish that you raise that is not up to standard, I'm not going to say, unless you have a cousin, a friend of yours that's going to take it from you as a pet or whatever, which is not many people listen to keeping fish tanks anymore. You're going to end up staying with that fish, something that is, I'm not going to say worth it because it's some kind of cold, but if you're looking for quality, you don't want to spend your resources in fish that is not up to
that
standard that you're looking for. So that's calling them, you keep just the fish that you want to plan to keep and breed in the future.
Yeah, the harsh truth, but
exactly, it's painful. It's heartbreaking maybe, because sometimes, like I said, when they're real tiny, it's not that as hard, but when you start getting, you see they just like develop all details and a little characteristic, but you notice something that is not good enough. It's kind of hard. For me, it's very hard, because what I do, I heard people that just draining through the drain. I cannot do that.
Yeah.
So what I do is I just try to get them my final calling when they're big enough for them to be eaten by the bigger fish. Mm-hmm. So I bring them in here. I do all the process of getting them used to the temperature out here, because it's a little warm from inside. And once they're ready, just toss them in the water, and you may see them swim around. The next day, they're none of them.
Yeah.
But they're doing the dirty work, if you want. I used to have Oscars.
Yeah, that's one way to...
They're perfect to get rid of fish like babies that you don't really want and you don't have any way to get rid of them. That's unfortunate, but in order to keep a good quality in your fish, you have to get rid of the ones that you don't really want.
Yeah, and if you don't have the resources to have a cull tank, I know one day I'm like, I'll have like a 75 gallon where every cull fish goes in there. I don't care if it's an angel or guppy. You know, good luck, you get your shot to survive.
Yeah, I used to have that in here. Usually the end of the row tanks, I used to keep everything in there that I didn't really want. But I start getting get rid of a little bit of fish here and there, and some of them die, whatever. So I started having a smaller and smaller spawning every year, because since I'm thinking about moving, I don't want to get a lot of fish. And probably, believe it or not, I'm just, out of all the fish that I have here, I might probably save 10, 15 of each species, and the rest I'm going to give it away. Literally, because I don't have the time to be calling home once, preparing boxes, shipping out, and all that. And if you want, when the time comes and someone wants to some of my fish for free, they're gonna have to pay for the shipping.
Make sure you follow them on Instagram so you can stay up to date and like
I will
hear
let
about
you know,
that.
but I think they will help me with that, because you know a lot of people around here that might
I know
be
a couple
interested.
stores or wholesalers that we could possibly get them to also, so they can get distributed.
Like I said, I'm not into. I don't see this as a business. I sold fish in the past, here and there maybe.
Yeah.
And that money is to buy food.
Yeah, it helps the hobby pay for itself.
But not really. For me, I got a budget already set for my hobby.
Yeah.
It's like someone asked me the other day, how much you pay to have all these tanks? Because originally I have these tanks from China, and I try to make them the same way they keep them in Japan, and they come out very nice. I love my tanks.
It is awesome seeing it back here. It's so clean.
Exactly. So when I made the tanks and I keep them like this, I try to like keep fish, but if you keep a lot of fish on these tanks, like I said before, I'm trying to move, I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that fish. So I'm gonna just keep whatever I think is worth to spawn later on when I move, or if otherwise my dream will be going to Japan and gather the fish myself.
Yeah.
I hope I get to do one of these days, and start over.
So speaking of that, I think that's a good transition to start checking out how you breed them, but also just see the live pond real quick, the live food pond.
Oh yeah.
The makeshift pool too with one of the extra
Exactly.
tubs. This is awesome.
We use this to cool down in summertime. That filter right there is for a regular pool.
Yep.
But when I got my fish tank, those tanks from China, a couple of them came with a shadow corner, so I had to fix them. So meanwhile, it was a real hot day. My wife told me, "Oh, can we fill that up with water?" And I said, "All right." So I filled it up with water. We went up, spending the afternoon cooling down, drinking a couple of beers, listening to music. So I started thinking. The next day, the water was already cloudy. So I said, I can be throwing 600 gallons of water every week just for nothing. I need to get a filter. So my sister used to buy filters for kiddie pools for my nephew and my niece. So I asked, do you have a filter here? Yeah, I got a brand new that I never got to use. Do you want me to give it to you? I said, yeah, why not?
And
so I thought it was one of the little ones, the little ones for those kiddie pools. I said, bring it over. And I said, it's going to be enough for this. So when he came out with this filter that is for a regular pool.
That's awesome. Such a great addition to the
Exactly.
yard.
So it's cool. When you came here, my wife was in there sunbathing and cooling a little bit with a friend of mine.
Enjoying the day.
And the good thing about it is like that filter works automatically for like 2 hours, and that water got turned in that filter for like 12 times those 2 hours. So the water keeps real nice.
You got some cool succulents.
They've been there for like 10 years at least. I never watered them. I never put
just
nothing.
Leave them there?
Just leave them in there. They get like crop in winter, and in summertime they get back like that. I'm so amazed. That's why you always keep them.
That's awesome.
I don't do nothing for them. Nothing.
That's
I'm talking
cool.
not even water, nothing. Like I said, they die like that in winter. And every year I said, they're all over, that's it for them. Next spring, they come out like that again.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And this is the last tub you have? Your Daphnia?
Exactly. Right now, I used to have this cover on top, but I noticed that there were, how can I say it? There was something missing in the cycle. So one day I decided to open that and just have fresh water when it rains. So you start getting this, believe it or not, this your spirulina. That's what they make, the spirulina that you eat in your diets, whatever. That's basically the thing. But if you check underneath there, there's a lot of, exactly, there's a lot of dirt, but it's also mosquito larvae. I don't do nothing now because if I bring this inside, they might turn the water green on my tanks. But when it rains hard, all this thing will go down to the bottom and it will close the cycle. So it will be when it rains hard, this thing will be clear again. All that stuff goes to the bottom to feed this the Daphne. Mm-hmm. And it started when you got regular rain, it never gets like this. But unfortunately, it haven't rained hard for the last couple of weeks, so that's the result of it. So I'm waiting until it rains hard again to fill up. You see, I usually keep I can keep it too high because one time it was raining a lot and I don't know if you can see it anymore. I lost so much Daphne because they were dripping from here, from this. So they used to like keep on the corner. And if you get a big group of them in the same spot, they will dry out, and all of them went up in the floor that I was able to use.
Yeah, it's a good thing they reproduce so fast.
I don't, like I said, I put Daphne the first day there, like 5 years ago, and it's
just been there.
Being there, winter time. I don't cover nothing. They just come back by itself. So it's a lot of things. So we can go, what we're doing, let me wash my hands real quick. I don't want to get dirty.
Yeah, the spirulina all over. I just wiped it off on my pants. I was like, there we go.
You can wash your hands if you want. There we go. There's a towel here.
That's what you got to sink. Oh.
You're going to dry your hands.
You're more polite than me. I just use my pants.
So when I'm in normal spawning season and all that, what I do is the fish that I want to spawn, I bring them inside here. Again, you see all this crap here because I've been moving things around, trying to gather things that I'm going to keep and going to throw away.
Yeah, we see the big
tanks. But in a normal winter, all this section here is clear. I just filled up those tanks with water, bring whatever I'm planning to keep that I'm really interested with. So I put them in there for the winter. Mm-hmm. And around January, the first week of January after the holidays, I bring them inside to my basement. Start feeding them with a high quality food.
Let's get down there then, so we can see it. There.
So, so this is my laboratory, if you want to call it that way. Again, I'm in the process of moving, but in a regular season, when I'm working normally, most of this fish tank will be full of fry or parents. But I'm not doing it. I didn't do much this year, so I only have these 2 tanks. 4 tanks, actually. Those 2 right there, they still have water because I just recently moved the Tosakin babies outside. So I don't drain the water again, like I said before. That algae that it grows around, that's part of your filtration. It's part of the importance of keeping your water clear and healthy. So that's why you try to, the only wall that I clean on my tank is the front wall. I don't touch the sides or the back wall because that algae right there is what you need. Just clean and like as you can see, there's only filter, water, fish, and the tank. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I got a black rancher here. As you can see it.
Beautiful fish.
I might move one of the ones outside. I don't know if I get a crazy spawn. late spawn, late season spawn. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I give it a try. And down here I got a couple of Tosakins. I got a real nice Tosakin here. Let me see if I can pull them out of that corner. This is a real nice Tosakin, both of them. But this one, unfortunately, you see how round the tail is?
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about this one is this one only has one anal fin.
Ah.
So even though it's so nice, the tail is beautiful and everything, I will never, if it's a very nice, you know, like the tail is nice flaps on the sides and the body shape, the face shapes, everything. The only thing, it doesn't have two anal fins. For me, it's crucial. So that will never spawn that fish. This one is not as that one, but this one, but it's, you can, I think this one is a female. This one has the two anal fins. You see that?
Yeah, there's the big difference. You can see that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. The tail is not as nice as the other one, but it's still a nice tail. You see that?
Yeah. So you were telling us earlier your original inspiration. Can I scooch over there to get a close up?
Of course. Everybody in life, there's situation that looks like not important at all, and it ended up changing your life completely. I remember back in the days, I went to a goldfish to a aquarium. I was mentioning to David that you don't see many around anymore. But back in the days around in the 90s, used to be like 1 or 2 aquariums per town. So we used to drive around because he had a new tank and whatever. So I had a little experiment with guppies when I was little, like I mentioned at the beginning. Mm-hmm. So we went in there and I saw this very bag right there, that one right there. So when I saw that picture, you see the picture right there? I'm gonna try to point it like, I'm sorry with all the whoring, but I'm trying to gather all the things that I might take when I move.
I am low on battery.
Yeah, so I thought when I saw it was a flower, because when I saw through that little window the food, it looks like this a little bit, like that. And I thought there were seeds to have that flower. But when I started looking into the picture, I noticed the eyes, I noticed the dorsal fin, and I noticed that this was the tail.
And that it was a fish.
So I asked the guy, do you know what kind of fish is that? I have no clue. But is that seeds? So I know that's food, that's pellets for that little fish. So I said, oh my God, you can even see it better here.
Yeah, and then you've got the stamps under it too. That's an amazing story about how you got your originals.
Exactly. So it's a long, but I'm going to try to shorten the story as much as I can. So I went up, started looking around. No one knew what kind of fish was that. So I went up. It hit me so hard that I went up being a member of the Goldfish Society of America, just because I wanted to know what kind of fish was that. So I got in contact with the chairman, and I asked him. Because finally I went to an old pet shop and I found a goldfish book, and I saw a couple of pictures, and that's when I found the name was Tosakin, and they were from Japan, and I bought that book because it has those 2 pictures. So I bought that book, and I knew the name of the fish. So I went to the Goldfish Society of America. I became a member, and I started getting the magazine every month and all that. So you get all the phone numbers from the chairman. Remember, back then there were no internet, there were no email, there was nothing. There was phone calls, faxes, that's it. So I called the guy and I said, listen, what can I get Tosakin? He said to me, to what? And I said, yeah, Tosakins. He said, what is that? And I said, dude, I thought about that. You the chairman of the Goldfish Society of America and you don't know a Tosakin? I was kind of like, what I'm chasing here? So that instead of discourage me, he said, damn, I need to get one of those. So I started looking all over. I ended up going to Chinatown. I ended up getting a list of imported from China. I remember this guy had one little Tosakin. They were like this big, and he was charging back in 1994 like $150. And I remember it was hanging on a corner there, and I almost certain he was sick. And I said, I can't spend that much. It was a lot of money. It's like saying $400 now.
Yeah.
I can't spend that amount of money. So I started looking around through the goldfishes out of America. And I met a guy in California, in Los Angeles, named John Arellano. I hope it's still, it was a long time ago, 30 years ago. I hope it's still alive. If you get to watch this video, hi and thank you. He lent me a book, which was a Japanese version of a goldfish keeping book, translated to English. So he sent it to me. I copied the whole book. I sent the book back. So I started going through the book. And in one of the pages, I found all the list of, they call it an appreciation society in Japan. And they have different for ranches, for Tosakin, for Jikins. So I look into this one that I used to work with Jikins, Tosakins, Nankin. There's another, I had that fish, I don't have any right now, but I had Nankin, Wakin, Japanese Wakin. I got all these things going, and so I got in contact. Not that time, so I wrote like 7 different, remember there was no internet. So I sent 7 different letters to different societies. Time went by, a couple of months later, I received this weird package, manila envelope around this big, with a few books in there, and it came from Japan. So Mr. Sadaki Wakabayashi, that was his name. He was the chairman of the Goldfish Society of Toyohashi, which is a little town near Nagoya. He was kind enough to read my letter, not him, having someone reading the letter for him, and he took the time to just send me books. And every society they moved this little booklet with all the fish they compete on that year, and then all the champions, all the terms, and all that. Sent me a few of those. I have them upstairs, still have them. He sent me. After that, we got a good relation. The only I don't speak any Japanese. I barely speak English. I speak Spanish. So, and he didn't speak. He was an elderly guy. I'm almost certain he passed away already. But he somehow, we start communicating via fax. So I used to send my letters in English. He received them over there. He had someone to read it for him. He used to answer to me in Japanese. And I used to go a place nearby in a town named Edgewater. This is a Japanese supermarket. So I used to go there looking for people, nice people. Hey, can you read this for me, please? So we started sending faxes back and forward. So one time, I ended up getting his phone number. So a friend of mine had a coworker that the lady was originally from Japan. So we ended up calling the guy, and the first thing he told me, if the fish arrive alive, we can do a deal. Yeah, we can have a deal. I can send it to you, but I need to make sure that the fish will arrive alive. 2 months later, I sent the money not knowing. I was telling you, David, back in the day, just the shipping of a 40 pounds box cost me like $1,500, which is like $2,000 now. $2,500 was a lot of money, plus the cost of the fish. So I ended up spending a lot of money. So I sent the money not knowing if I'm gonna get my fish or what was gonna happen. But I always had this thing from Japanese. They're very straight, they're very educated, they're very honest, give you the idea, like it's very organized. It's a lot of things. So I said, something? I sent it. So like 3 months later, I was driving to the JFK to pick up my box. I had to get an importer license from the Fish and Wildlife in order to import the fish.
Yeah, it's a pain.
It is, you can't even imagine how many things that I had to go through to get my first Tosakins. When I got them, back in 95, 96, until now. So that's what I'm saying. In life, you're going to have things that doesn't look like much, but it will end up changing your life forever.
Yeah, and that's just a packet and some stamps from the little envelope.
That little picture of this bag, this berry bag, it got me into goldfish. and I'm here 30 years later.
We're running out of time because my phone's almost dead, but I did want to point out, Dave showed us these really cool nets that, like, this one was the most beautiful that blew me away. It's like handcrafted and it's flat on the bottom so you can pick up fish off the bottom. So I did want to point that out and just show you guys how cool this is. This is like a $250 net, you said. They're expensive, handcrafted, but so cool. And he actually made this set himself.
This tree right here.
That they're just beautiful, and it's really cool. And he was explaining that the rays of the fish get caught so easily in deep nets that they can tear, that you use nets like this instead over in Asia because this is a lot safer for the fish and less likely to have their fins tear.
Yeah, he was asking me about this little one, and it's because you start the culling very early. You don't want to, when you have tiny fish, you don't want to grab a lot of them because you might do something that is going to be a scar for life. So you only pick the ones that you don't want. So when you have a whole bunch of babies in a bowl and you use something like this, you might wind up a lot of them. You don't need that. You need to grab just the one that you want out. That's why you use this little one. So it's depending on the size of the fish that you're calling. They're named culling nets. So I seen this. I got this from Mr. Wakabayashi. This one is so old. It's already start getting a little holes in there. I'm gonna have to replace that myself. But this is from him too. This little design I did it myself because I think it's pretty cool. But
you got fresh, like straight from Japan, beautiful nets.
Even this one here, even for bigger fish, they use this. I got this from Mr. Wakabayashi. And I got those nets, and they're flat net, you know, like shallow nets. Mm-hmm. Because again, goldfish being a type of fish with a big fins, you don't want handled fish that have big fins in a deep net because you ended up tearing the tail, damaging an eye or something. Something might happen. So it's better when you get it like this because you just grab it like a little spoon. And probably sometimes, you know, they move around, they're not gonna get cut, and they're not. It might happen though, but it's gonna be.
But it's less likely.
Less like that happened with this like this.
So the last thing, you had that awesome photo of a Tosakin, like almost like Da Vinci's Portrait of Man.
Do you want me to turn on the light? Or?
No, this is perfect. Could you walk us through this if you come over here?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, walk us through this. This is like the perfect Tosakin
Mr.
fish.
Wakabayashi sent me a few books in Japanese, and they got a lot of knowledge about Tosakin. So in one of the pictures that he sent me, I saw this. So this is the perfect standard for a perfect Tosakin, you know? So as you can see, he was mentioning like Da Vinci, how do you call that? He has a very...
Da Vinci is like, I think it's called the Portrait of Man or
something like that.
Something like that.
It's kind of like that, but it's on a Tosakin. So as you can see, all the lanes, like the body goes right there. So this is a side view, and this is the tail. You see that it's flat like this, not like this, like a regular fish. It's like this, and you can see the round. And when you keep it in round places when they're young, they got more tendency of having the tail round, going around with flaps like this. You see that?
Absolutely beautiful.
So that's what you need. That's what you want because that's the standard you're looking for. If the pointy head, you see how pointy it is?
Yeah.
So when you're going into a show, you got a beautiful fish, like they want to show you, but they notice they only have one anal fin that might be a point down. They notice that the head is not more round and it's not pointy as this one. That's another point they might deduct. The eyes are more, they're too outside like more or something.
Oh yeah.
You don't want that. That you see the tail is like this, or they swimming with the tail head down. Exactly. So they look into that and all those aspects, and one they have, and there's like 5 guys around the boat with the fish. So they said, okay, give me the score. So everybody start taking their own scores, and they put all together. They say you got a 5, 1 to 10, you got an 8, I got a 7. She has a 6. Mm-hmm. So they put all together. So they say it's 12 or 20, and the guy's like has 18 or 25. So that one is winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they pull a little piece of wood with a number, and it's the number they give him the death fish. So they start going like that, and that's why. But it's a very big thing in Japan.
And you said you've only entered one competition before. Took third place.
Third place in the whole thing, and then I got the first place in because it was I noticed in the goldfish and the fish hobby here in Jersey, unless you have a pond and you're into koi, there's different things, but I haven't seen one dedicated to goldfish. The ones that I have in here is most likely like tropical fish, like guppies, betas, discus, and all that.
Rainbows, our angels, plecos. That's a lot of our members. Cichlids.
Neons, yeah, all that. So I went to the show with my Tosakin, and I remember it was a big thing because no one knew that fish. So that's why I got the first place on the non-regular fish.
Yeah.
But I got the third place among all the fish on that show that day. They was here in my town. They held that like once a month, every quarter I can remember. Mm-hmm. But I don't have the time to be chasing around,
all the time.
And it's a different type of fish. So at the end, I said, thank you, and I might go another time once I know the new schedule.
That was David with DASMTOSAKIN. This was such an awesome tour. I hope you guys liked it. Check him out on Instagram. So if you want to ask him any questions, talk to him about his fish. He's pretty quick to respond. He works nights, so it may be a weird response time, but thank you so much for having us.
Anytime,
it was a pleasure.
I
hope you guys check him out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more videos like this. Have a good one, you guys.